So I made my little slab box. I tapped it on my board to make the rim flat, but I quite like the fact that the bottom is soft and rises a bit off the base. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a lid for the box. We go back to the slab that we had prepared previously. We can smooth out with our finger any little grooves that we made previously when we were drawing to make the slab box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the box on the slab with a bit of space around it, because I want a lid that's slightly bigger than my box. And I can go freehand and draw around it. So I've got a square that's a bit bigger than my pot, and I can go in and cut it. I like how this clay has stiffened up, but it's not too hard, so I hope also your clay is hopefully in a similar condition. If it's more brittle, it will be a bit harder to work on, but you can still slab, because this air drying clay, if you wrap it in a little bit of plastic and you have a damp sponge in there, it will get soft. So really it's about working with the material and understanding its different stages, and that just comes with time and experience, and it's quite a enjoyable thing. Can be frustrating sometimes, because if you want to get on making things, but actually understanding the different stages of this material clay is part of the fun of working with it. It's very satisfying when you have an understanding of when you can work with it. And everybody likes to work with the clay in different stages. Some people like to work with the clay very soft. So now we have the lid, and we're going to make a flange inside. What we're going to do is going to cut along there a strip, hopefully the strip will be fairly even. It's a bit fatter at one end than the other, so I will probably just use part of this. What I want to do is to create an inside flange that will sit underneath the lid. As I said, you can go as fast or as slow as you wish when you're making. If you want something that's very precise, you probably will have to go a bit slower. So roughly speaking, that's going to fit in there. go. Now this part is a bit more tricky because we're going to join it, but we're going to try and make sure that it fits in the box. It's best to have it slightly smaller than bigger. That feels about right. Yes, so I'm going to again score and use a bit of slip or slurry to attach the flange. I'm scoring or cross hatching. The reason we're doing this is because we need a rough surface in order for both sides to join together. I'm working very small scale, so this paintbrush is slightly too big, but it doesn't matter. Ideally, we want to score also the flange. When we're working in small scale, there's less stress. There's less stress between the joins because there's less volume of clay to pull the sides apart. It becomes, as you scale up, it becomes very, very important to make sure that your joins and attachments are very secure, because otherwise they will just fall off. So I'm going a little bit fast here, faster than what I would normally do, but this is to give you an idea. So we'll press that down, perhaps with the bat, so I don't distort the lid. And I'll test that it fits. Yeah, it fits nicely. And then obviously you can take your time in refining and filling the gaps, if there are any. Ideally, when we make slower and we don't have gaps. But if there are any gaps, you can just fill them. This clay is very forgiving, this air drying clay, because it's got nylon inside it, so attaching things is a bit easier than with clay that hasn't got any inclusion and that goes to be fired. So I'm okay with that. So I'll turn it around and then I'll make a knob to go on top of it. And again, you can try making a ball, or you can take some of the clay that you have rolled out and cut. Yes, perhaps I'll do that. Again, I score the bottom. I place a bit of slurry. And I press it in. Not too hard, because there's a void there, so perhaps I'll put my finger underneath just to take that pressure. And then with a slightly cleaner brush I can just tidy up the excess. At this point you might want to have a lid with slightly rounded corners so they're not sharp, so you could tap it on the board like so. Slightly big as a lid, but you get the idea. Probably that lid would be a bit smaller. And that's your box.